Hello, everyone. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby. I am here to celebrate with you today. I'm celebrating Kwanzaa. This is the third day of Kwanzaa, and I'm so excited to be here with you in celebration. You notice I have on one of my outfits, and I love this time of the year. And the reason I love this time of the year is we get an opportunity to celebrate our heritage. We get to call forth what we know to be true about ourselves. I'm so grateful that Kwanzaa has been established, and it is a way of sowing seeds of greatness within our culture and in the world. And so, with this in mind today, we get to focus on another principle, and that principle is Ujima. Ujima is one of my favorite principles. And the reason it's one of my favorite principles, it not only unifies, but it moves us into action. And it supports us in fortifying a principle that is most needed in the world. Ujima represents collective work and responsibility. I'm just going to borrow from a wonderful, one of my favorite heroes in the world, and his name was Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl um, moved through the Holocaust, and he lost his entire family with the exception of his sister. He was tortured, and people came to him for solace, the ones that were torturing him. And he said, whenever I get out of here, I'm going to teach the world about love. For me, collective work and responsibility represents love. And that love for humanity is an important part, especially now in the midst of COVID. Dr. Martin Luther King would call Mahalia Jackson when he was moving through the civil rights era, and there were so many things to be done. He didn't shrink from his that responsibility, but what he would do is he would call her when his soul was troubled, and she would sing the song, "If I could help anyone along my way, then my living is not in vain." Every time we show up in the world for good, and every time we circulate good, we become a tipping point in the world for good for someone. We make a difference. And so I'm inviting you today to consider how you can show up in the world and make a difference. That difference can change the trajectory of anyone's life. At the time that Martin Luther King was moving through this struggle, I was a little bitty girl sitting in Selma, Alabama. And as I sat in Selma, Alabama, the world was awaiting me. Little did I know that I would be sitting here today having a conversation with you about that. It's a perfect example of collective works, how people came out of the woodworks to support a movement and to support good in the world. My story, everybody has their own story, is that they did that for little old me, and they made a difference in my life. I want to inspire you today to look at where you can make a difference in the world. Is there someone, maybe perhaps a small effort, a neighbor in need? Maybe perhaps you can go and take their trash out and support them on the trash day. Roll their can out where it may be a struggle for them to get that done. Or maybe perhaps it is giving towards good, sharing where good is needed, and supporting that good. Perhaps helping a family as they are moving through something that they're focused on, a good. For example, making sure that their children have clothing during this season when it's cold. We can show up in the world and we can change the trajectory of anybody's life. So, with that in mind, I'm going to invite you to join me in prayer. And what I know about prayer, this has been implanted in me from my grandmother, is prayer can change things. So, I'm inviting you to move into the heart space right now, to breathe with me. And as we breathe, I'm inviting you to just acknowledge the power of God, to know that the power and that presence is alive, thriving right where we are in this very moment, that we are instruments of peace. And in that instrument of peace, I know that the wisdom and the light of love abides. And it is the wisdom and the light that abides, that fulfills itself within each and every one of us. It is a divine spark that fuels itself and it lifts us up to the place of the very Most High. And it is in this consciousness, in this sacred awareness right here, right now, I simply hear the words that love can move mountains. And I allow the presence of love to expand itself and reveal itself within my heart and within the hearts of everyone that is hearing this prayer. And I allow love to prepare the way. And in that preparation, I know that collective good is alive, it thrives, it fulfills itself, and it fuels itself in a perfect way. That each and every person that is hearing this prayer is lifted up to the place of the Most High, whether they are a recipient of the good or whether they are a giver of the good. What I know is that there is a transformation that is unfolding, and that transformation is the healing presence. I know that it is the healing light, and it is this healing light that inspires itself. It inspires action. It fuels itself, and it blesses people beyond that which we cannot even imagine. That humanity is fueled and blessed, and it shows up in a practical way, bringing peace, bringing harmony, uplifting and inspiring and empowering the world. And I know that in this empowerment, I know that only good can fuel itself. I know that everyone is blessed beyond that which they cannot even imagine, that it doesn't take away from anyone or anything, but the presence of love reveals itself. And I know that there is inspired action. And this inspired action brings forth the infinite life, that infinite good. And so, in this space of joy, in this space of gratitude, in this space where the divine fulfills itself, I give thanks for the essence of Ujima being a way of life. I give thanks for the essence of Ujima revealing itself beyond that which I cannot imagine, but for the good of all concerned. And it is in this space of perfect love and in this space of perfect peace that I simply give thanks for these blessings that are simply overflowing right here and right now. And we affirm together, and so it is. Amen. And we say Ashe, and Ashe means may my words have power, and I know that they have activated itself right now. Amen. I want to look into your eyes. I want to thank you for showing up and being that steadfast blessing in the world. Thank you for supporting our Kwanzaa. I'm calling this a Kwanzaa Fest, the prayers. And I invite you to come back and be with us tomorrow. Please share this with someone. I know that it will inspire them. And if you need prayer, I'm inviting you to download our Prayerful Heart app in your store. Go to your app store, look up the Prayerful Heart app. And what we will do is when you get that, you can send in a prayer request and we will pray with you about whatever is going on in your life. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a blessed evening.